Con Regio Dolphins. Welcome back. This is another read aloud for our kinder through third graders. I'm excited about the book today. This may be a book that you're actually already familiar with. I know a lot of my primary teachers actually read this with their students and do activities. I also know that a lot of preschool classes also read this book. It's a fun book. I actually pulled it from my daughter's home library, and it is called Stone Soup. It is written by Anne McGovern. Pictures or illustrations are by Winslow Penny Pels. Okay, let's read. A young man was walking. He walked and he walked. He walked all night and he walked all day. He was tired and he was hungry. At last he came to a big house. "What a fine house," he said. "There will be plenty of food for me here." He knocked on the door. A little old lady opened it. Good lady," said the young man, "I am very hungry. Can you give me something to eat?" "I have nothing to give you," said the little old lady. "I have nothing in the house. I have nothing in the garden." And she began to close the door. "Stop," said the young man. "If you will not give me something to eat, will you give me a stone?" What a peculiar request. Unusual request. Why do you think he wants the stone? No, I'm not sure what he's going to do with it. Let's find out. "A stone?" said the little old lady. "What will you do with a stone? You cannot eat a stone." "Ah," said the young man, "I can make soup from a stone." Now the little old lady had never heard of that. Make soup from a stone? Fancy that. "There are stones in the road," said the little old lady. The young man picked up a round gray stone. "This stone will make a wonderful soup," he said. "Now get me a pot." The little old lady got a pot. "Fill the pot with water and put it on the fire," the young man said. The little old lady did as she was told, and soon the water was bubbling in the pot. What did he convince the little old lady to do? Yeah, he convinced her to get a pot, put some water in that pot, and get it boiling. I think they're going to start making soup. The young man put the round gray stone into the pot. "Now we will wait for the stone to cook into soup," he said. The pot bubbled and bubbled. After a while, the little old lady said, "This soup is cooking fast." "It is cooking fast now," said the hungry young man, "but it would cook faster with some onions." So the little old lady went to the garden to get some yellow onions. Into the pot went the yellow onions with the round gray stone. "Soup from a stone," said the little old lady. "Fancy that." The pot bubbled and bubbled. After a while, the little old lady said, "This soup smells good." "It smells good now," said the hungry young man, "but it would smell better with some carrots." What is he convincing her to do? What are the two items that they've already added to the soup? Onions and carrots. Good job. So the little old lady went out to the garden and pulled up all the carrots she could carry. Into the pot went the long, thin carrots with the yellow onions and the round gray stone. "Soup from a stone," said the little old lady. "Fancy that." The pot bubbled and bubbled. After a while, the little old lady said, "This soup tastes good." "It tastes good now," said the hungry young man, "but it would taste better with beef bones." So the little old lady went to get some juicy beef bones. Into the pot went the juicy beef bones and the long thin carrots and the yellow onions and the round gray stone. "Soup from a stone," said the little old lady. "Fancy that." The pot bubbled and bubbled. After a while, the little old lady said, "This soup is fit for a prince." "It is fit for a prince now," said the hungry young man, "but it would be fit for a king with a bit of pepper and a handful of salt." Notice where she got her beef bones. Where did she get the beef bones? Would you eat beef bones from your dog? I don't think I would. So the little old lady got the pepper and the salt. Into the pot went the bit of pepper and the handful of salt, with the juicy beef bones and the long thin carrots and the yellow onions and the round gray stone. Soup from a stone, said the little old lady. Fancy that. The pot bubbled and bubbled. After a while, the little old lady said, This soup is too thin. It is too thin now, said the hungry young man, but it would be nice and thick with some butter and barley. So the little old lady went to get butter and barley. Into the pot went the butter and barley, with a bit of pepper and a handful of salt, with the juicy beef bones and the long thin carrots and the yellow onions and the round gray stone. Oh my goodness. Now, didn't this lady say that she didn't have any food? Was that true? What's interesting is that this young man is kind of tricking her into making this soup for him, but she has plenty of food. Soup from a stone, said the little old lady. Fancy that. The pot bubbled and bubbled. After a while, the little old lady tasted the soup again. That is good soup, she said. Yes, said the hungry young man. This soup is fit for a king. Now we will eat it. Stop, said the little old lady. This soup is indeed fit for a king. Now I will set a table fit for a king. So she took out her best tablecloth and her best dishes. Then the little old lady and the hungry young man ate all the soup made with the butter and barley, the bit of pepper, the handful of salt, and the juicy beef bones, and the long thin carrots, and the yellow onions, and the round gray stone. Yummy. Soup from a stone, said the little old lady. Fancy that. Now I must be on my way, said the young man. He took the stone out of the pot and put it in his pocket. Why are you taking the stone? Said the little old lady. Well, said the young man, the stone is not cooked enough. I will have to cook it some more tomorrow. And the young man said goodbye. He walked on down the road. He walked and he walked. What a fine supper I will have tomorrow, he said to himself. Soup from a stone. Fancy that. What a clever young man. Very savvy. I can't believe he was able to figure that out. Okay, so I have a couple different activities that you can do. The first activity will require some parent help. You would need a piece of paper. I know that you can't necessarily copy this or print this from this video, but you can copy it down. So what you can do is actually write this out on pieces of paper and then cut them out. Or you could just draw the pictures and then cut the pictures out. Or if you have index cards, you could use index cards to write this information on. So what I want you to do is I want you to identify all of these different parts of the soup, okay? And then your job is to put it in order. What was the first thing that we put in the soup? The second thing, the third thing, the fourth thing, the fifth thing, and then finally the sixth item. And so each of the items, the first is put a bit of pepper and a handful of salt, fill the pot with water, put the round grain stone into the pot, add the vegetables, boil the water, enjoy your soup. So this is a great fun activity to practice sequencing, meaning putting things in the order that they happened. So in trying to remember from the story, you can also go to audible.com or even epic.com. Those are two online resources if you wanted to listen to the story again, especially the story with the pictures, if that helps your youngster, your student to do this. Great activity to practice sequencing. Again, you can either copy this on a piece of paper, cut it out, just draw the pictures and cut it out, or even use index cards. The second activity is a drawing activity because I love to incorporate art when we can. So what you would do is draw a picture of a cauldron or a large pot. So that's what this is. So if you wanted to pause this and then maybe use this as a template, you could copy this. And then what I'd like you to do is on the pot, draw all the pictures of all the different vegetables and items that are in the stone soup. Again, I refer you back to audible.com or epic.com, or even you could rewind and listen to this video again as well, but to help you identify what were all the items to draw. So those are 2 fun activities to share with this wonderful book. I hope you enjoyed Stone Soup as much as I did, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Bye, dolphins.